Hope you guys had a great Wednesday. Let's go ahead and jump into this Thursday pre-market brief. We have a full episode today. We're going to start off with our general market coverage, head into Doordash earnings, then look into Walmart's charts and chart analysis right before their earnings release at 7 a.m. today, along with the earnings call at 8 a.m. Talk about Comfort Systems USA, which is the backbone of the AI boom, and then end with a little bit of news regarding the FAA and Archer and Joby Aviation. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're going to start off by looking a little bit at crypto. We see that it is pulling red. Let's take a look at the averages and how they ended the day yesterday. We had the Dow Jones ending in the green at plus 0.26%, the S&P ending at plus 0.56%, and the Nasdaq ending at plus 0.78%. So a good push for the general market. As far as the pre-market, currently we are sitting pretty much break even, more in the red though, with DoorDash still pushing from their earnings release yesterday, which was a miss on both accounts of earnings per share and revenue, but they're still, I guess, pushing off of their sales growth, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Let's go ahead and take a look at the international markets and see where they sit on the day. We have the Korean markets. They are open. They are positive by plus 3.09% on the day, which is solid. I believe Taiwan is closed, and the Nikkei is also positive at plus 0.57%. So we may be entering another day of a positive push in the general market. As far as European markets, we have the stock 6X in the negative at negative 0.61%, which is the overall European markets. The CAC French markets at negative 0.87, and the DAX German market sitting at negative 0.83. So it's a mixed bag. Asian markets pushed into the green while European markets pulled back. So it may be a toss-up on the day, possibly depending on some of the economic data that's going to be released today. So important economic data that will be released today includes the jobless claims, which is weekly, estimated at 225,000. We'll see if that beats estimates and shows that the job market is still holding solid, which would be a good sign for the market in general. And then we have pending home sales, which is going to give us an idea of if the housing market. We got home builder confidence earlier this week, which showed that confidence is still low, and it dropped lower from December. So we'll see if this is going to give us a little bit of uplift in the housing market. But other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P chart and see if we have any idea of where we are going to be going today. As far as yesterday and today, I believe we're continuing that sideways bounce, that sideways momentum. We're going to expect this continue to bounce between these two bounds, and my prediction over the coming days, as far as the daily time frame, is that we're going to peak and then head even lower. That monthly or that seasonal trend that I talked about, I believe it's just continuing. Let's look at a 30-minute time frame and see if we have any idea of where we may go on the day. What we like to see is that we had almost 3 consecutive higher lows. Our first low right there, bouncing on that 6,775 from yesterday. Our second low right here. Come on, work with me now. Right here, and our third or fourth low, you could say. Our third higher low right here. So we would like to see this bounce, break through this upper region right here at about 6,908, and then continue to head to the upside on the day. But we will see if we continue that momentum to the upside in the general market. But we all know that the market in general as a whole is repeating the last 4 or 5 year cycle of pulling back into March, April, June, and then we'll more than likely see a small consolidation and a push back to the upside around that time period. But other than that, let's go ahead. We'll look at Bitcoin's chart real quickly, and then we will build from there because we want to have an idea of what the market is still doing. And same thing with Bitcoin. It's just bouncing on this bottom range right now. There's that sideways trend. And let's look at the 30-minute time frame. we have the appearance of our first low at 65,841, a higher low at 66,664, and then another higher low at around 66,720. So it's gradually pushing to the upside. We're going to see if it continues, but in general, it's just a period of consolidation before the next major move, which is more than likely not going to come until we get clarity on the Clarity Act, which I believe earlier this week or yesterday or the day before just missed another voting opportunity because of disagreements with between the crypto executives and the banking executives. But let's get into these earnings. We're going to head over to Doordash. We're going to take a look at the chart first, and then we'll discuss a little bit about their earnings and what we grasp from it. So we're going to start with the monthly time frame and build from there. In general, we see that it has followed the market. Most stocks and most companies saw a major recovery after the 2022 to 2023 season. So that's why we have that big dip because of COVID, and then pushing back to the upside after the recovery of the market and business in the pandemic. But we love the stair step. We're beginning to make that curve. And one thing we may notice in most stocks is how negatively that government shutdown affected the market in general. This dip was not in the picture until after September 30th, and when we entered that major government shutdown that cut out a lot of funding, disrupted markets in a major way. It was about a month and a half, and this is why we see this big dip in the stock. But in general, it has held strong as far as Doordash on a monthly time frame. So it's a solid stock. It has a great foundation right now. Let's look at the daily time frame. What we see from here as far as the daily time frame is that we are in a downtrend. We have our a high right here, lower highs, and lower lows. There's a low, there's a lower low, and there's a lower low. So simple to keep that in mind. Simple to see that on the chart. Nothing too dramatic as far as the charts are concerned. Just confirmation of the overall market downtrend. But other than that, let's get to some of the details regarding Doordash and its release of its earnings. Now, one thing I wanted to note about this is that their earnings call yesterday kind of revealed a little bit more to me about their executives, their CFO, and their CEO. And it was just straight about numbers, which for me is somewhat of a turnoff when it comes to a company. But in general, the charts are good. Their numbers are solid, even though they missed on earnings per share, which is what the investor get paid, and revenue. But they had high growth in sales, and they're continuously expanding. They're one of the major players in the industry as far as food delivery, and they're Uber's next biggest competitor in that arena. So gotta have them on the portfolio list. But other than that, their numbers were good. Subpar because of the conversation of just strictly talking about numbers and not culture. And other than that, it's a solid company, solid pick for a stock to add to your portfolio if you're looking for future growth in the food delivery sector, which they are the lead in. Let's go ahead and head over to Walmart's chart and take a look at that. That earnings release will be at 7 a.m. today, which may be before I push this video out. Hopefully not, so that you have that information. But and their earnings call will be at 8 a.m., which I will more than likely be attending to get details on not only Walmart, the company, but a lot more information and a lot more detail regarding the lower part of the K customers in this economy. So yeah, it's a great gouge for the consumer in this K-shaped economy. Monthly time frame, always solid. Oh, we love the exponential curve right here. It is beautiful. Let's go to the daily time frame. We see higher highs and higher lows. This is beautiful. There's it's just a stair step. Boom, 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 all the way up to the top on a daily time frame. It's just been pushing while the market in general is pulling, except for the last 2 days, a big drop, more than likely due to the earnings that's coming out later this morning. But in general, we got the higher highs and higher lows, which is a major sign and a consistent sign of an uptrend. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame, see if there's any more idea. On this time frame, we see we were somewhat in a sideways trend since about early February up until the earnings, which is today. So that's why we probably had that breakdown below this lower bound of about $126.46, and we're about to bounce back up depending on earnings. That's my guess. We'll see if we get out of the sideways trend or push to the upside in a major way after this earnings. You see that volume push. Somebody might have some insider information about what's going to be released earlier or later today. But other than that, we have another major stock releasing earnings today. This is a stock that nobody talks about, I'm telling you, but it is the backbone of the AI boom, the industrial boom, because this company hosts the electricians, the mechanics, the HVAC systems, and the infrastructure necessary to build out the market for AI and for the industrial sector in general. But last year, it grew 120%. I'm telling you, put this in your portfolio at least for the next 3 to 5 years. This is the hidden winner in this economy, and it's already up 41% this year, which is wild. I think in my portfolio, it's up about 200, a little bit over 200. It might be right below 200% in my personal portfolio, because I did pick it up in 2024, dropped out of it due to reconstructing my portfolio, and then picked it back up in 2025. So I may be a little bit behind the curve. But I would have been up around 300 or 400% right now in that stock. But let's look at the daily time frame or monthly time frame. We see that exponential curve that we like to see. Daily time frame, we got higher highs and higher lows, similar to Walmart. These are just solid stocks to hold even when the economy is going bad or when the overall market is downtrending. They're just solid players. They undergird the base of the economy and the base of infrastructure, at least the infrastructure build out right now. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame, and we see we enter that sideways motion at the beginning of February due to earnings being released, and earnings season that is going on right now. So we're going to see, but last 3 quarters for this stock, it has majorly beat. It has been booked from year end to year beginning for the past 2 or 3 years in a row, and it's just overbooked right now. So excited to hear what they discuss tomorrow in their earnings call. That earnings call is going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Their earnings release will be in the aftermarket hours of today. So we'll see if it gets that aftermarket surge in those after hours. Other than that, this is conference in USA. We have major news regarding the FAA and their path to simplifying the electric air taxi certification, which is for the eVTOL vehicles. And those companies include within our portfolio right now is Archer Aviation, which has seen a major drop because it's a small and mid cap stock as far as the monthly time frame, but it still has that beautiful stair step that we like to see. Boom, higher low, very volatile entering this year though, probably because of all the attention that it's getting right now. But it's making major moves, and this bill that was released or proposed this past Friday should help undergird it. But Archer Aviation and then Joby Aviation, a lot less volatile, but it still has that stair step that has happened since 2022 that is appealing, and it's an industry that may be a new area for a big boom, but we will see. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article very quickly, and then we will end this morning's episode. So it says about a bipartisan bill introduced Friday in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives would require the FAA to streamline its top type certification process for electric vertical takeoff and landing. That's what eVTOL stands for. There you go. Air taxis and other advanced air mobility aircraft. That could include The use of standards agreed upon by the developers themselves to prove the aircraft are fit to carry passengers. So these standards may be the baseline for the general industry going forward. Because the FAA does not have strict and specific rules right now, these two major companies may be the builders of that regulation for future generations. So that's huge. Introduced in the Senate, and it will make their applications a bit more easier, knowing that they're going to be verified by Senate and House representatives and corrected or aligned respective to their requirements also. But let's continue. Introduced in the Senate by Senators Ted Budd, North Carolina, Peter Welch, Ben Ray Lujan, and John Curtis, and in the House of Representatives by Troy Nelts, Jimmy Panetta, and Jay Orbanoto. The Aviation Innovation and Global Competitiveness Act contains an array of measures designed to simplify eVTOL air taxis' path to the market. But this is a major move, and it's just good to see that there's some progress being made, although under not too much fanfare. So if this moves well, this will more than likely be in line with Archer Aviation's goal to meet some FAA regulations that enable them to fly for 2028 Olympics and better prepare for their debut as an air taxi in I believe Dubai next year in 2027. I believe there's some games or something happening there. But other than that, guys, I believe that is all that we have for this lovely Thursday morning. Looking forward to the economic data. Don't forget to stock the future. Invest in your future right now. You have no idea how investing today can make your life easier, your children's life easier in the future. We want to be able to fire our boss. Okay? 1 to 5 years. You don't have to wait a lifetime to retire. You don't have to work your way to just being burnt out. Invest for your future. Stock the future, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if there's any stocks or any companies that you're interested in that you want me to do an analysis on, feel free to comment them below and I will add them into one of these videos. But other than that, guys, don't forget to stock the future, and I will see you guys tomorrow on a lovely Friday morning. Peace.